Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? It's Monday. I had a busy weekend. I did rest, but I can totally tell that I missed taking my inhaled medicine properly this weekend because I'm coughing again this morning. So, note to self, not quite 100% past bronchitis. I'm going to pay attention to that. Today's a rest day. I usually on Mondays like to do digital stuff, like going into Instagram and going into Facebook and planning future posts and figuring out what the calendar looks like and making sure that I have everything ready for all my appointments this week. And, basically doing the planning stuff, but also allowing my body to rest from anything that I did over the weekend. Because I often have very busy weekends because that's a time that I can get together with some of my friends and we can chat and I can do things that I can't get done during the week. Anyway, so I'm going to read out of Celtic Devotional. As the lengthening light of spring brightens the world, so I call upon my soul's teacher to ask for light to see the latent power that's held within the pool of this day's catch. May the salmon of wisdom one day leap up within my heart. Wise child, maker of mysteries, I still the busy chatter in my mind and enter into your silent peace. Your touch awakens the wisdom of my heart's deep well. May I never forget this moment. As the spring night deepens, so I ask your help to reveal the mystery that I need to consider. As I wonder at the beauty of the world, I offer thanks and blessing from my heart's depths. I give thanks for the places that give me inspiration and continuity of spirit. I give thanks for the protective encircling of the elements. I remember all who have no home, all refugees and wanderers. May the Holy Ones lead you to rest and shelter and the blessings of a happy home. This night, many mourn the loss of loved ones from accidents or grieve because their dear one's body has not been recovered. Many do not even know if their lost ones still live. May the gatherer of souls retrieve their heart's anxiety and give them sure knowledge and perfect understanding of all that has passed. As I enter the vastness of night, may the loving protection of holy ones be upon my sleeping. May they conduct me into my dreams of wonder and delight. May they greet my soul on waking, that I may rise refreshed. Love that. So today's Isis oracle is the Lunar Queen, she of the celestial crescent. Isn't that beautiful? Love that. There is a deep feminine wisdom that recognizes the importance of cycles of rest and the replenishment of essential balancing to our actions of power and demonstration. You are being asked to allow this replenishment for yourself now, trusting that you are in a cycle of creation that is about to shift into a new phase. Release and enjoy the process without having to control or force it. I think that's always really important to know when your rest cycles are supposed to happen. Building my week, running my own business and figuring out how to see the right amount of clients to have the right amount of money coming in, and also making sure that I create a buffer of time and space for my own rest and my own cycles, and honoring that is really tricky. It's really tricky. Isis, the Lunar Queen, understands the cycles of creative power and flow. Sometimes it can be hard to let go of a desire to force, control, and make things happen. To exert might and willpower to bring what you wish for into being by sheer determination, exertion, and force. Yet, the vast creative power of the feminine principle is in honoring and flowing with cycles of activity and rest, of releasing force and surrendering to the perfection of what is happening right now, realizing that this actually brings us divine manifestation and creation more effortlessly and gracefully and to a greater effect. I think that's the part that when I was really in that place of, okay, how am I going to make this happen? And I went many years kind of hiding a little bit. And when I kind of came out of hiding and I started doing daily devotions and I started really working on my business, and then I made a shift in my own, like, how am I going to make this work type mindset. I made the mistake, and I knew it was a mistake when I did it, was I'll just schedule people whenever they want to see me. And I would even have clients say, I know you're really busy, or this might not be a good time for you, or I can't really see you during the hours that you've just given me. Is there any way you can see me here, there, or whatever? And I would say yes. I would go, oh, absolutely. I would do anything in my world to be available for people, even if it was inconvenient, even if I knew it was stacking too many people together, even if I knew that I was going to pay the price ultimately for doing that. And I knew it was wrong when I did it. But in my mind, there was this scarcity of clients. There was a scarcity of need that if I didn't do everything I could to see clients on their terms, and if I didn't do it the way they could meet me, then I wouldn't have clients. And even as I'm going through it, I'm like, I really need to reframe this. I really need to think about this differently. I need to have better timing. I need to figure out a better way of creating those boundaries. And it took me a little bit of time to figure it out. And I've gotten, I will say, much better about that. But one of the things that I've discovered is with those boundaries and with those healthy buffers in my schedule, I have had the universe go, yay, okay, now you're doing it right. And here are your clients, and here are the people you can help, and here's your income. And it does work. It really does work. You have to reframe scarcity into abundance. And it isn't things of abundance. It is abundance of allowing the universe to bring to you what you need. And sometimes you have to be really specific with that, and sometimes you don't have to be specific. And you do have to kind of muddle through and figure out what works best for you, because there's a couple factors that come into play. What is your blueprint? What is your life themes? What are the obstacles in your life themes that create the juxtaposition of growth? What are your gifts? Are you working through karmic lessons? So is there a karmic lesson that bubbles up every single time you try to get something moving? Or are you just trying to come into alignment? You know, there are many, many layers to creating abundance for you. And knowing some of those foundation pieces can help. And I think that's one of the reasons that when I think of like what I do to help people as a coach, it's very much helping people have all of the tools so that they can make better informed decisions for their goals. And I've worked through those things for myself too. And anybody who's a coach or a life coach, one of the things that I think is a really big mistake is that all the programs that you get certificates for, they all say, don't, as a coach, put your journey out there. And I don't think that's a good thing. I think you need to be transparent with what it is that you have figured out for you so that you can acknowledge that every person you work with also has a unique journey. So they understand that you are also human and you are not perfect, and you don't have clay feet, I guess, is the phrasing that I'm looking for. Anyway, there's a timing. There's a timing. There is a honoring the flow of your cycle of activity and rest, and learning what that means for you. And your cycle of activity and rest may be different. I have found that as much as I am not a morning person, if I get up and lately it's do my inhaler, get my cup of tea, do that downstairs, and then come up to my studio and do daily devotions and work on my planner and do the things that I know help me prepare for my day, I do better, and I have a better sense of timing, and I have a better sense of rest moving into the next phase of activity. The celestial crescent is the moon in her changing form. This oracle comes to you at a time when you are shifting from one phase of your spiritual and creative journey into a new phase. This is a time to This is a time to pay deep attention to the messages of your body and allow them to guide you. Do you need to balance your activity with more rest? Do you need to be more actively creating, but from a more relaxed and allowing rather than a demanding force of your mental state? Or is it time for you to spring into action? Has the time come to take a step forward? Pay attention to your own body wisdom for the greatest timing and unfoldment of your manifestation. Quiet times are dark moon energies, the times when you will sense from your inner wisdom, your body wisdom, what you are in need of replenishing and percolation. So this brings me to the other thing that I was thinking of this morning is that, so I rearranged the furniture in my house for spring equinox because the energy was not good. I had arranged everything at the solstice and it wasn't quite right. So I did a rearrangement for spring equinox and it feels so much better. And one of the things that kind of bubbled up as I'm moving furniture around is that my husband and I have gone to some dancing things lately, and I really am missing dance. I'm missing movement. And I've gotten to a place where I really need to start moving again. I bought skates a couple years ago. I really want to do some skating. I may have to buy some PVC and build myself a frame, a stabilization frame, because I am really out of balance with it. I also have to wait for it to either warm up or I need to find a place to take all of this stuff to go and practice. I would really love to get more dancing in with my husband. And the other thing is that I would love to find a Qigong practitioner that's local, or find some really good Qigong on YouTube. Or Qigong is one of those that I've done a little bit, and I know that is the movement that I want to do, because there's a need to start moving. I have had some health issues that, minus the bronchitis, some other health issues that I've kind of gotten to a place where I really need to get that movement going again, because I would also like to get back into doing some body-based movement things for my wellness, but also using the body of 9 stuff that I have been able to tap into. So I've been I've been an energy healer, health coach, life coach for decades. And one of the things that I didn't have a language for was the body-based stuff. And so anytime there was body-based stuff, I would just refer people out. Go to a yoga person, go to a Qigong person, go to a massage therapist, go to all these body-based people. And with Body of 9, I'm learning that I have more tools. I have the language and the knowledge now that I didn't have before, or I had a piece of it, but I didn't have the right way to communicate it. And I really want to be able to play with this body of 9 stuff in my own body, doing these different activities, because I know that's going to help me come to a place where I can communicate that better with you, with my clients, with the community, and help people really connect in. I really, truly, when I walked into the very first Body of Nine thing that I went to, which was a total accident, by the way, I knew that was the piece I was missing. And it was a huge chunk that I didn't have the ability to communicate. And I didn't have the anchoring that I needed to help that be communicated to others well. And I've gone back and looked through really old soap notes recently, and I went, oh, I was talking about Body of Nine here and I didn't know it. Because I've known that I didn't have the correct language for it. So when it talks here about the right time and listening to your body for timing and unfoldment of manifestation, I set out that when I looked at my Samhain beginning, I went into Samhain saying, I'm going to work on the dark stuff. I'm going to work on my dark time. And very much so, there was a lot of internal work there on my own shadow stuff to get me to the place that when Imbolc, or the 1st of February, that particular cross-quarter Celtic, the idea that it's this Celtic wheel corner post, that shifts me into what is the outward movement now from Imbolc to Beltane. What is the outward momentum? And part of this outward momentum, I've hit spring equinox in this Imbolc time period, and I'm like, oh, this is the outward movement. Now I've got to take the body stuff and really start working on body stuff. And I think it's really cool that this card came up today, because I did spend some time yesterday going, this is the shift. This is the piece that I need to not just plan, but I need to start doing the things. So talking about timing, I'm going to start in my mornings I've been doing my tuning forks. So I have my tuning forks right next to me every morning. So I do my tuning fork. And this is called a sonic slider. And you can get one of these. This is not a paid announcement, but on Biofield Tuning, there's a 21-day course. I think it's $40-something you can do online with Sonic Slider. And I think the Sonic Slider is $89, or maybe it's $90 now. I love it. I absolutely love my Sonic Slider. I love rubbing this all over my head and my whole body. I rub it all over everywhere that I can reach with the tuning fork. I use it. And she shows you how to use the tuning forks on her website. I may do a little tutorial or something later, but it's all out there. And I just need to now add more movement to that. I do some movement when I first get out of bed in the morning, or in bed before I get out of bed in the morning. But moving all the furniture around last week for spring equinox and getting the energy moving in my house has helped me recognize where the stagnant energy is and the things that I need to do in the right timing. And getting back into connecting to the wheel has been so profound in my life. I used to honor the wheel. Many years ago, I kind of fell off the wagons when I got really sick with toxic mold, and I quit following the wheel. And getting back to honoring the cycles that work for me has been amazing and transformative, and honoring my path. And I find that I'm able to help other people in my practice so much more. So kind of a long daily devotional, and kind of probably sounds like a long rant about me, but I think the big message is that we all have our own cycles that work for us. And we have to sometimes stumble around a little bit to figure out what that looks like, to honor ourselves. And it's okay to try different things to figure it out. But you have to give it time, and you have to give it true effort, and you have to honor when it doesn't work and acknowledge that and be okay with it. Maybe you're somebody who getting up in the morning is the worst thing in the world, and you should be somebody that should sleep till 11 o'clock in the morning and have your day from 11 to 2 a.m. Maybe that's your day. Maybe it's not. Your rhythm is your rhythm. And honoring that is one of the biggest treasures you can give to yourself. So I hope you all have a beautiful day, and I will see you tomorrow in prayer. Blessed be.